So today we will discuss the impact of digital technologies on the society. I mean, on the social behavior of people. Ladies and gentlemen, as you obviously understand, technologies have a deep impact not only on the economic life, but also on the social life. Today we'll try to understand this impact, obviously in big detail, and we will try to analyze the most important problems that arise due to the implementation of digital technologies. Okay, guys, let's continue. What are the key features of the digital transformation of society? Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I will try to mention the high level of penetration of digital technologies. What does it mean? Okay, actually, it's very simple. Everybody has a smartphone. Okay, virtually everybody. If you live in Amazonia in the jungle, probably don't have your smartphone, but in most other cases, you usually do. And thanks to this smartphone, you have access to a lot of information and to a lot of different software that simplifies your life, or at least tries to simplify your life. High level of development of digital technologies. Okay, guys, what it means? You should understand that modern smartphones, modern hardware in general, is much efficient, much more efficient, much more productive than the hardware, than the equipment that was in use, let's say, 5 or 10 years ago. We can solve complex tasks on our hardware, on our computers, notebook, tablets, etc. We can use different tools. We have access to voice helpers, to voice assistants, etc. And well, voice assistants are a very significant example of this development of digital technologies. If you remember, probably you do, at the beginning of the computer era, there were big problems in the computer-human interaction. Well, it was virtually impossible to directly introduce data from the real life into the computer. You had to use special cards, you had to use keyboards, etc. Now it is very similar. It is very similar to normal human interaction. Thanks to the technologies of voice recognition, we can use voice assistants, and okay, we don't even need to type anything. And these voice assistants, they are a preliminary stage, I would say, of the artificial intelligence. So they are able to learn, they are able to upgrade themselves, they are able to adapt to your request, etc. So they are much smarter, so to say, than just an IT tool. So this high level of penetration of digital technologies and the high level of development of these digital technologies, the change in the model of interaction between humans and computers, okay, they also have an impact on the human life. Global coverage. Well, why we shouldn't mix the high level of penetration of digital technologies with global coverage? Ladies and gentlemen, as you obviously understand, we can reach a very high level of the penetration of digital technologies in a given location. But we may well organize the separation of this location from the world. In this case, we enjoy these digital technologies in our place where we live, but we have no access to the external information, to external contacts, etc. In case of the digital transformation, it is not true. Obviously, some countries do limit access to internet. They do limit access to different sources of information, etc. But well, in general, the coverage of digital technologies is global. I would say that digital technologies are naturally born global. They are intended for the global use. So, once you have your smartphone, you can access information everywhere. You can find anything you want on the globe, etc. Well, high level of transparency. Guys, do you have any ideas what it can mean? High level of transparency.
That's the situation w- in which we can get access to any sort of information without any problems.
Could you please specify a little bit?
For example, the company or the firm uh, can have a high level of transparency, and in that case, that means that it makes a very detailed how should I say a very detailed documents about its processes and how does it work actually, and it doesn't hide any um, anything from its customers, something like that.
Okay, your approach is a little bit idealistic, as you understand it, but well, it is one of possible approaches towards transparency. But actually, it is a little bit different things. A little bit different things. Sorry. Okay, indeed. In case we analyze corporate governance, marketing policy, etc., we understand transparency as the ability of a company, of a business agent actually, to disclose information, the ability of its partners, its stakeholders actually, to get access to this information and the reliability of this information. So just having access is not enough, as you understand. We should be sure that the information is reliable. Okay? But in this case, the transparency is a little bit different thing, guys. Well, ladies and gentlemen, mm, ladies and gentlemen, do you know okay, I don't know actually. Probably you have. Okay, I hope you have parents. I hope you have parents that they are alive. Okay, I wish them good health. I mean, some of your parents, or especially of your grandparents, may be older people actually. And they do not have any habits to use internet, or at least their internet competence is lower in comparison with yours. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will give you just an example. Let's imagine. Do you remember a rock group which was very popular 30 years ago? It is still popular now, but okay, the peak of its popularity was 30 years ago. The Queen. Do you know this rock group?
Of course.
Yes, we do.
Okay, excellent, guys. So, you can imagine any other group, any other rock group, I don't know, Britpop group, yeah, up to you actually. I mean, we should imagine an older group, which was a historical group, so to say. So, let's imagine you are in your 30s, you are in your 30s, and we are in 1985, okay? So, we are 35 years ago. You are a Freddie Mercury fan, you enjoy his music, you really love it. How you can get information about new songs of this group? How you can get information about the life of this excellent guy, etc. What should you do in order to get information about this person?
Well, I guess you need to go to the bookstore or to the music store to ask if they have any updates or new materials coming
Absolutely right.
and communicate with people who are also into this topic, I guess.
Absolutely right. So actually, you depend on information intermediaries. Do I understand it? Okay, so actually, if you want to learn something new about the Queen, I mean the Queen group, not Her Majesty, in this case, you should, for example, to buy a rock magazine and to read some news about new concerts, new tours, etc. of this group. Guys, you understand me, ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. So you buy, I don't know, the Rolling Stone magazine. You read information about this band. Okay, you are happy. That's all. Okay, now let's travel in time and return back to the future, so to say. Now we are in 2020. We are right now. Okay, so okay, the Queen does not exist anymore, unfortunately. But okay, I don't know. Let's imagine you are a fan of whom? Okay, I don't know. Britney Spears, probably. Okay, the first person I'm thinking about. Well, if you want to get information about this young lady, what can you do in order to get information about her, in order to express her admiration to her, etc.? What should you do?
Okay, Google.
Yes.
Okay, Google, excellent, absolutely right. But it is not all, actually, guys. You can find her Twitter or her, I don't know, her Facebook page. You can follow her. You can know all information about her without any TV intermediaries, without any magazine intermediaries. You get direct access to her life. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes.
And in this case, okay, as you see, in case of traditional communication between stars and the public, the fans actually, okay, the communication is one side, so to say. The rock star produces information, you consume it, that's all. Now you can provide your opinion directly to your to your stars actually, so you can comment on her, on his photos, etc. You can provide them with your opinion. You can say that you are loving them, etc. So you can communicate directly with them. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, rock stars are just a very good, a very bright example, which is easy to use in order to understand the situation. But actually, it is true for anything. Ladies and gentlemen, technically, you can communicate via Twitter even with Mr. Trump if you prefer. So, most people are now available in social networks, in different social media. Companies are ready to contact their users, their customers, I mean. So in this case, the communication becomes transparent. You can contact anybody. Okay, there is no guarantee you will get an answer, but still a possibility of communication exists. And again, it ensures the transparency in the meaning which Nikolai said. Okay, the life, the activities of most agents, of most people, of most individuals, of most companies are becoming more transparent to us thanks to this direct contact. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes.
Okay, so it is really very important. We are now in the transparent world, so to say. So we can communicate to anybody, we can express our life, we can express, okay, we can hate anybody, but okay, we can do it directly without any the Rolling Stone magazine.
And may I clarify something?
Yes, of course, I
So
should.
the direct connection with someone, it is a transparency, yes?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what I would like to highlight, uh, transparency obviously may have different meanings. Do not pay too much attention to the terminology. In this case, I use transparency, as Asselbeck said, absolutely correctly, as the possibility of direct interaction, of direct access. So
Okay.
we have possibility to contact anybody, okay, virtually anybody. But obviously, this transparency can be used in a different meaning, uh, the possibility of access to information about anybody. Okay?
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
And obviously, constant connection, guys. As you understand, okay, you are always connected. Okay, most probably you are. You're always connected to internet. You always gather information. You always provide other companies with information about yourself, even without your consent sometimes. So you are in a connected world. So all these five things deeply change our model of interaction, our model of social behavior. Guys, is it clear? Guys?
Yes.
Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, what are the effects of digital transformation of society?
Sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Uh, so,
So,
as one of my friends said, the main difference between TV and, for example, YouTube uh, is the capacity of giving the feedback.
okay, indeed, it is two-side access to information. You see this in the first slide. You're absolutely right. So, in case of this new digital world, the transparency means that we have a two-side communication, as I have already mentioned. In case of traditional communication, you are absolutely right. You air your program on TV, but you have no feedback
Audience?
from viewers, from your users, right? Now, okay, you can get a feedback, and as you know, thanks to the digital TV, it is also possible to get feedback on TV right now. But okay, it is a digital TV, not a traditional one. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we have two-side access to information. So it means that you can get access to to virtually all information you are interested in. Obviously, guys, there are state secrets, commercial secrets, etc. But if information is free, if it is not forbidden, and if you are able to read it, which is pretty possible with Google Translate services, okay, in this case, most probably you will get access to this information without any problems. Okay, and obviously anyone can get access to your information, guys. Don't forget it. So anybody can see your social media page. Anybody can read your personal information. Okay, companies do collect information about your purchases, etc. So now we have a possibility to consume, so to say, more information, but we also produce more information for other users, even for those we are not interested in cooperation with. Guys, you understand it? Ladies and gentlemen.
May I ask?
Obviously,
Uh, I've heard the new term. It's a profession. Uh, the digital transformation specialists, but I didn't get the idea and the function of this person in organization, especially in bank system.
okay, I feel back. Actually, we have to go back to analyze this question. Now we discuss the digital transformation of society. You are asking about digital transformation of business. Actually, what is the key functions of this person? He or she should help this company, this bank, obviously, to get adapted to new digital environment, to to introduce new digital tools and to increase its efficiency on the basis of these digital tools. What it would be? As I have already said, it would be digitization, so replacement of real assets by virtual ones. It will be flexible contracts.
Okay.
It will be all other types of activities, but it will depend on the company's strategy. Because as you understand, different companies have different strategies. And okay, we have a very digital bank here in Russia, Tinkoff. You have heard about it, I hope. We have a digital bank, but with a very strong physical infrastructure. It is Sberbank. And there are some banks which are okay, very popular, very effective, but which lag behind in the way of digital transformation. So, and probably they will not undergo the complete digital transformation because their customers may not need it. So the core functions of this person would depend on the strategy of the company he or she is employed in. Okay, I still back.
Yes. Thanks.
You're welcome. So, as I have already said, this transparency means for us possibility of direct communication. I just repeat it in order to help you to memorize. And ladies and gentlemen, human-robot interaction. Okay, earlier, our communication with the computer was okay, a kind of, how should I say, a kind of use of computer, so to say. It was not a real interaction. We use a computer as a tool. Now, robots, artificial intelligence, etc., they create an impression that they are human-like, that they are smart, and we interact with them as with humans, or at least as with human-like entities. And well, it may also create ethical problems, social problems, etc. So robots are okay. The role of robots is growing in our life. They are constantly becoming smarter, and okay, it is very difficult for us to treat them just like tools because okay, psychologically, we believe that they are intelligent, they are smart. Guys, do you understand it, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen?
Not clearly.
Yes. So, mm, robots with their artificial intelligence, they
Mhm.
are becoming not a tool, but something like a subject, like
Absolutely right.
a person.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Okay, it is a very important problem. We'll discuss it by the end of this lecture. Robots are now becoming smart indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, it is okay. It is a kind of, how should I say, probably a good example would be animal rights. As you understand, when we use, I don't know, cows or okay, I don't know, swines to produce meat. Okay, in this case, we do not consider, most of us at least, do not think about these animals as about living animals. They are just a source of food for us. We don't see them, we don't consider them as okay, as real, real living beings, so to say. But okay, let's imagine you have a pet at your home. I don't know, a beautiful retriever or a very nice cat. Okay, this pet is a kind of friend to you. You don't consider he or she is a human, obviously, but okay, you don't consider it like just a source of food. It is a source of your comfort. Okay, it is a source of friendship, so to say. It is an imitation of friendship. But okay, you consider it a little bit more than just an animal. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes,
Yep.
of course.
Okay, and in this case, the same situation is true. Okay, not the same, but pretty similar situation is true for human-robot interaction. Okay, some advanced artificial intelligence may create an impression that it is human-like, and okay, it may be difficult for humans for how should I say, for real citizens, so to say, to treat these human-like robots like just tools because they possess intelligence. They have a kind of they possess a kind of artificial intelligence, and they are considered, at least by many of us, as a kind of human-like, not real humans, obviously, but okay, a little bit more than just a tool. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay. So,
so a
say
question.
you mean that, but we see the robot, certain robot, and we know that it has some unique feature from other robots, and we accept this robot like a person or the subject that can exist without our interaction. Yes.
Actually, right. Absolutely right.
Okay.
Okay, so let's continue. Sorry, just a moment. Okay, what is the social impact of digital technologies, guys? Okay, there is a lot of different effects that the digital technologies produce for our society. I mentioned just three. Probably they are the most important ones, but if you wish, you can find any additional examples if you look through internet. Okay, the first example is self-organization. Self-organization. After that, we arrive to the higher level of control. Uh, I always repeat this problem, ladies and gentlemen, high level of control. So if information about us is okay, can be accessed by anybody, it means that this entity which gets access to our information, it means this entity may get control over us. The degree of this control may be different, but okay, there will be a control. And okay, there is transformation of ethics. What does it mean? I will give you just an example. Okay. Before I give you an example, I will try to understand what it means. Okay, what is ethic, guys? How do you understand this term?
Ethics.
Well, ethics are the specific rules
Sophia,
that
if
are
possible, a little bit louder.
ethics is a specific rules that are present in a certain society and
Mhm.
are considered to be implemented by all of the humans within the society and like sort of being friendly, not hurting somebody.
Okay,
I have
some other
another
ideas?
version from the business ethics. Ethics is the true knowledge about the good and bad.
Okay, guys, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, both of you. Okay, in this case, we try to understand what is good, what is bad from our point of view, from our social point of view, from our religious point of view, etc. So, we have to, or in a normal situation, we will try to comply with these ethical rules. But as I have already said, now technologies become more powerful, and this higher productivity, higher efficiency creates an impact on the ethics. For example, ladies and gentlemen, for example, uh, as you understand, in the near future, drivers will be replaced by pilotless cars, as you understand it. It is not probably the story of the next 5 years, but in the okay, I guess by okay in 15 or 20 years, this replacement will take place. Well, now, uh, how this pilotless car should take decisions about ethical preferences. For example, let's imagine. Okay, it is a very popular example. It is often discussed in the theory of games. Well, let's imagine you are an owner of a pilotless car. Okay, you drive at high speed. Okay, you, not you, but your car. And okay, and suddenly, or all of a sudden, there is a dangerous situation. There is a dangerous situation, and you should choose between your life, for example, and the life of a child who is crossing the road just before you. So, uh, what will be the decision of a physical driver? Okay, in most cases, the driver would try to save the child. In most cases, not always, but it would be his or her human decision. How should the automated car act in this situation? Whose life has the higher level of preference? The life of the owner of this car or the life of the child on the road? How do you think?
Um, you know that there is the term, I forgot about it, that in ethical issues we try to maximize the profit, the profit of the humans at all. If the it's a term, it's not my idea. If the life of owner is essential and profitable for others than the life of children, the computer will save, based on this term, the life of owner. If vice versa, of course, the children.
Okay, I sit
So,
back. We can now arrive to a very dangerous conclusion that there are different levels of people actually,
so
Yes.
more valuable or less valuable, and
Yes.
it is not a very good topic as I understand it. So, actually, how this car should be programmed? Okay, who should value the life? Actually, okay, let's imagine you're right. Let's imagine your solution will be implemented. No problem, actually.
sorry.
Just a moment, I will finish.
Mhm.
Well, in this case, the car should immediately take a decision whose life is more valuable, the life of the driver or the life of the child. Will the car always have this information in order to take a correct decision immediately?
I guess it should analyze the data first and then
It will take
arrives
time.
to
As
a
an
decision.
example, all of a sudden, it is a road accident. You should take an immediate decision. You have, I don't know, 1 second to take it.
No.
In this case, it is very difficult to value each person's life. But well, I will continue on this topic a little bit later. Now, Nikolai had something to add.
In my opinion, actually, we can't evaluate human life. Um, and in there are two main reasons for that. One of them is ethnical question, and another is lack of powers um, to make such an evaluation. And in my opinion, that car should be programmed following road rules. For example, if a child is crossing a road, I know, somewhere where he or she should not cross it, yeah,
Mhm.
uh, the car will follow the rules, and unfortunately, kill him or her. But if
I'm happy you stopped, Nikolai.
yes,
I have a
so
good idea. So we should to program the car like the purpose of the program is the
okay,
minimize the damage. So
Okay.
it should to make certain the decision which minimize the damage. For example, it can um, it can make some damage to the owner in that is more um, that is not so dangerous because the owner is elder and he can maybe survive while the children even it is a little bit or it's a soft crash, the children can get some serious damage. So that's why I think the car should estimate and make a decision to minimize the risk and make a damage as less as possible by mitigating the effect of the damage to the owner because owner is elder and he can maybe survive.
Sorry, can I present my idea?
Yes, of course, go ahead.
I'm sure that anyway, these cars are programmed to save driver's life, not driver and passenger's life, because nobody is going to, for example, buy pilotless car if in some situation it's going to the kill the passenger. Yes, I'm sure that this.
Okay, very good idea. Ladies and gentlemen, now you had some proposals about the solution, about the decision this car should take. But as you are absolutely correct that this decision will be taken by the car on the basis of an algorithm, on the basis of a program which is introduced in its artificial intelligence, right? Guys, do you understand it?
Could you repeat, please?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as you understand, any decision that this pilotless car would take, any decision will be based on the program, on the algorithm which is running this car, right?
Yes,
Okay,
it's
great.
obvious.
So it's obvious, you're absolutely right. But well, now let's go to the second question. Who should program the car? The car maker, the state, the owner?
This is a problem. This is, let me see.
Okay, as you understand, technical programming can be implemented by the car maker. It's obvious.
Okay.
What about ethical programming, so to say? What about preferences? Who should introduce these preferences in the artificial intelligence of this car? As I
There is
already
no
said,
answer.
the car manufacturer, the owner, on the state.
No, there is no answer.
The state, because it is the most, I know, unaffected by every side, something like that. Ah, it's the most objective. Yeah.
No. If the state should program this car and we make certain the consequence, so in certain government the car can make a traffic crash with children, but in other state it can't. So
Okay.
I think there is no answer. That's why the technology is not on the level of human.
Okay, so as you see, there is a lot of ethical problems that arise, and these problems should be solved before we implement such technologies. Because, okay, okay, in addition to some ethical issues, there may be some financial issues, some legal issues, as you understand. If a child is killed without a good reason, okay, it is a crime. It is a person, I mean, the passenger, the owner of the car dies without a good reason, it is also a loss for the society. So in this case, and okay, in this case, it may well be that the insurance company will not compensate this death. So these ethical problems, they have a close connection to the legal problems, to the level of the autonomy of technologies, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, as I understand, we will have discussed this topic during one of the seminars. I kindly ask you to pay attention to this problem because, okay, one of our topics is dedicated to the ethics and to the artificial intelligence. Uh, for the moment, I want you to understand this problem does exist and it is really very, very important. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes, of course.
Okay, great. So let's continue. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, self-organization. Let's start by customer self-organization. Probably the most obvious example and maybe the most popular one. As far as I know, many girls actively participate in such customer self-organization, but not only girls, obviously, but well, it is popular among young ladies, and interestingly, among young mothers. So, customer self-organization is often represented by informal groups of activities that help customers reach economic goals without external help. What does it mean, ladies and gentlemen? What is an external help? It is very simple. Let's imagine. You need, I don't know, what do you need? Okay, I don't know. You collect art dolls from China. Okay, guys, do you understand it? Guys,
Okay.
Collect
Yes.
what?
art dolls from China. Okay,
Okay.
okay. You are surprised? Okay, it's just an example which came to my mind. Okay, you collect art dolls from China, and obviously they are produced in China. Okay, what you can do? Normally, let's imagine we do it before the AliExpress era. So, how could we buy these dolls here in Russia? Okay, in order to buy this doll in Russia, there should be a dealer of the producer of these dolls in Moscow, in St. Petersburg, in Ekaterinburg, somewhere in any other city, where we can go and select such a doll. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes.
Okay.
So we do not have AliExpress, yeah?
No, we don't have it.
Okay.
Okay, so we go to this shop. Let's say in St. Petersburg, and we see that the price is exorbitant, quite normally. And well, the price is exorbitant, and the selection of dolls is pretty narrow, so we cannot find a doll we are interested in, or better, we would like. Okay? So there is an intermediary in St. Petersburg, as I already said, a dealer of this doll producer. But this dealer cannot satisfy our needs. Well, what do we do in this case? Ladies and gentlemen, or probably ladies, have you ever heard about the phenomenon of collective purchases?
Yes, of course.
Sophia, could you please explain what is it?
Well, it is when a group of people come together, the people who want to buy a certain product,
Mhm,
and they make a collective purchase, ordering not one or two, but about 100 of
mhm, mhm,
same
mhm.
pieces, which will later make the price a lot lower than on the
Absolutely
market.
right. Absolutely right. So, in this case, you cooperate directly with the producer. Okay? Or in most cases, at least. In this case, you cooperate with the producer, direct cooperation, direct interaction, guys. You organize a a wholesale group. So you organize a big amount of purchases. And in this case, this producer is ready to cooperate with you. Obviously, the producer will not be ready to sell you one doll or I don't know, one pair of shoes, etc. But if you order 100, okay, in this case, this cooperation becomes interesting for this company. So you form a group, you order this huge amount of products, dolls or I don't know, clothes, etc., or anything you're interested in. You get a huge discount in comparison with the normal price in shops, and okay, you get a wider choice of products. Guys, is it clear, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay, this model is really very popular. Is really very popular. Sofia, may I ask you, have you ever used it? And if I may, for what products?
Well, not me specifically, but friends of mine used it. Well, they ordered some cosmetic products
Oh,
online
really?
via
Mm-hmm.
these services.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it was before the AliExpress and such big retailers who were popular.
Okay, so how it goes. And okay, now thanks to AliExpress, okay, we can order anything, but still, there are some countries, some regions, and some producers which are not covered by AliExpress. So in this case, this self-organization may be useful. Guys, do you understand it? Guys?
Yes.
Okay, now sales swaps giveaways. Any ideas? Sales swaps giveaways. Ladies and gentlemen, what
Well,
is this about?
does it have to do anything with like garage sales when people exchange clothes for
Absolutely right,
very cheap?
but via internet, as you understand it.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely
of
right.
course.
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Sophie. Excellent. So in this case, you organize sales of products you don't need. You can organize swaps. Okay, again, among ladies, as I know, clothes swaps are very popular. Okay, at least they're very popular. Okay, I would say. Okay, when I had information about it 5, 6 years ago. And giveaways. In this case, you give away an item you don't need anymore. Okay, an old computer, I don't know, a sofa, etc. So you don't have to bring it to the landfill, to the junk place. And okay, a person a person who is interested in this old item, okay, can get it and use it for his or her benefit. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes.
Okay, so this self-organization is pretty good. It's pretty good because it helps to, how should I say, to redistribute to redistribute economic goods. Okay, now social self-organization. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very similar to the customer self-organization, but in this case, we discuss the social goals. So informal groups that are oriented towards social goals. What are they? Human rights. Human rights. Well, why not? So in this case, for example, there are protection against domestic violence. So wives which are in this this ugly situation, I would say, they can coordinate their efforts in order to protect them against this violence. Why not? Animal rights. Ladies and gentlemen, as you probably know, in the Russian social network VKontakte, there is a lot of groups which protects cats, I don't know, hamsters, dogs, etc. So, very good activity. They help to protect these poor animals. They collect funds in order to heal them, to find food for them, etc. Ecology. What is it? Ladies and gentlemen, okay, it is a kind of self-organization in order to protect our environment. I was surprised to see that in Sebastopol, as you know, it is an important city in Crimea in Russia. Okay, there was a program, a social program, actually, a volunteer program, in order to how should I say, to clean up landfills in this city. So volunteers gathered, and they made what the communal services were not able to do. They really cleaned up landfills in order to protect the ecology in this city. Guys, is it clear, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and well, social protection. Social protection. What is it? In this case, we provide help and assistance to persons in a difficult social situation. Elderly people, children, I don't know, refugees maybe, ill persons, etc. So in this case, we organize themselves in order to reach social goals, which we believe are important to us. Okay, guys, I'm sure you have a lot of examples of such activities. Okay, I would mention, okay, there is a very interesting combination because, okay, a very interesting combination of social self-organization and customer self-organization. As I've already mentioned, in case of a giveaway, you give away a product you don't need anymore. You don't throw it into a landfill. You give it to a person who may use it further. So in this case, you are a kind of ecology activist. You don't charge too much junk into landfills, which is pretty good. Have you ever heard about food sharing, guys? Food sharing or food saving?
Yes, we have discussed it already.
Uh-huh. What is it?
It's
If we
the
discussed.
it's the situation where we um, mm, give give away some food that we haven't eaten
Absolutely right.
uh, to another people.
Absolutely right. It is a kind of ecology, self-organization. It is a kind of social protection, actually, because we can provide food to persons who really need it. But sometimes it is also a kind of customer self-organization, because you may get access to really nice food which persons do not need anymore. It is not just to it is not to protect you against hunger. It is really about to get okay gastronomic positive gastronomic sensations. Well, guys, is it clear, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes, it is.
let's continue. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we go further to the problem of the political self-organization. Today, during my seminar, we had a very good presentation about the mass protests. So it is indeed an example of political self-organization. I guess that this topic was also presented in all other groups. So you have already know something about it. But ladies and gentlemen, what is it? Informal groups or actions aimed at the transformation of the state policy. So if you are unhappy with what is going on in your country, in your region, or in your city, I don't know. Okay, in this case, you may organize yourself for political activities. You can organize it. You can do it via internet. So such activities are now organized and coordinated via internet. Okay, as you know, Facebook, Telegram, WhatsApp, okay, Viber, anything you prefer. There is a lot of messengers, a lot of social networks, which can be used for political self-organization. We have very interesting terms: Facebook revolution and Telegram revolution. The term of Facebook revolution emerged in 2011 after the revolution, or maybe a coup d'etat, as you prefer, in Egypt, when the President Mubarak was overthrown. The protesters organized themselves via Facebook. So it was very difficult to control this network organization for the state security, and okay, protesters organized themselves very effectively. The same situation occurred in Ukraine in 2014. Probably you have heard about it, the famous Euromaidan. 2013, sorry guys. This event started in 2013, and okay, the protesters won in February 2014. So the protests were started after a message in a Facebook account, and well, the coordination, the exchange of information was organized via Facebook and obviously via other messengers like LiveJournal, Vkontakte, etc. Guys, have you ever heard about LiveJournal?
Not,
Yes,
not really.
Okay,
it was popular in Russia in 2000s, especially Navalny's live journal.
Okay, it is still popular in Russia among older people like myself, but well, actually, it was the first generation of social networks with a very reduced functionality in comparison with Facebook, Vkontakte, etc. But it was a very interesting tool to share your opinions and to communicate with people. Now it is mostly replaced by other social networks, or maybe even by messengers. But still, it exists. Still, it exists. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what we should take into account, or we should clearly understand. In case there is an example of political self-organization, it means that the traditional political institutions in a country are inefficient. They do not allow their citizens to freely express their opinion, or maybe the situation is a little bit different. Okay, you are free to express your opinion, but your opinion doesn't matter. So it is really a problem. It is really a problem. It is a kind of a fake democracy, so to say. You can say anything you want, but your opinion doesn't matter. And in this case, the country may well finish by this political self-organization and by Facebook revolution, which may create a lot of problems both for the government, for the population. Okay, any questions, guys, ladies and gentlemen?
No.
Okay, great. Let's continue. Ladies and gentlemen, what are the advantages and disadvantages of self-organization? Well, The first and the only important advantage of self-organization is that self-organization helps you to solve problems that cannot be solved by traditional institutions, by traditional commercial, non-commercial, or state institutions. As I have already said, okay, we have already analyzed a theoretical example of a doll shop in St. Petersburg. There is a doll shop indeed, but the price is too high and the product range is too narrow. So in this case, you cannot do anything but try to contact the producer directly. The same is true for social goals. Indeed, there are some legislation against domestic violence, there is some legislation about animal rights, etc. But okay, such institutions act very inefficiently, at least here in Russia. And in order to get a real protection of your right, you have to organize yourself. The same obviously is true for political problems, which I have already said. What are the disadvantages? Well, lack of legal regulation. Due to this lack of legal regulation, these self-organization communities and their members are vulnerable from the point of view of the law. So again, what we should say, in case of collective purchase, for example, okay, while there is a group of persons who gather themselves to make such a collective purchase, they do not participate. Okay, no, there is only one person, the organizer of this collective purchase, who discuss the delivery with the producer. Okay, this person collects money from other participants of this collective purchase, and he or she transfers funds to the producer. Well, obviously, this person gets a commission for his or her services. It's normal. But well, most of these organizers are unofficial. They do not pay taxes. Obviously, no customer protection laws will apply in case there is a problem. So, this model of activity is very good as it helps you to get access to some services, products, or opportunities. But it is very risky because your rights are not protected. And well, the state may be, so to say, unhappy with your activities. Guys, do you understand it? Ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and there is one important thing which I will discuss a little bit later. Just remember this point, risks of incorrect use of self-organization. What does it mean? People are organizing themselves in order to reach incorrect goals, unethical goals, bad goals, or maybe good goals, but with bad tools. Now let's discuss this issue. What does it mean, guys? Let's reproduce what I have already said. In case of this new digital environment, we have a lot of opportunities. There is a possibility of direct communication between different individuals, companies, entities, rock stars, etc. On the basis of this direct communication, you can organize a cooperation, I mean a self-organization, you can provide support, etc. And obviously, thanks to this digital environment, you can enjoy freedom of speech. It is really very important because in case of the state censorship, such tools like social media networks, etc., they provide us with the possibility to express our opinion freely, which cannot be done via traditional media or via traditional political institutions. But what are risks, ladies and gentlemen? Fake news. It is a really big problem. It is a really big problem. Well, fake news, I hope everybody understands what is it, guys?
Yes, of course.
Okay, great. Fake news. So, fake news may be produced to create wrong opinions, to manipulate public opinions, etc. because everybody can freely produce information and publish it. A very, very bad thing, as Mr. Trump would say, it's cyberbullying. Guys, do you have any idea what is it?
Yes.
Could you please explain, Nikolai?
So it's the process while someone I know um, hates someone else or
Mm-hmm,
just enjoy the process and
mm-hmm,
uh,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I don't know print some bad words, uh,
mm-hmm,
something like that.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. In this case, we harass a person. We bully him or her. We harass this person. We express our hate towards this person, etc. We make the life of this poor person unsupportable, actually. So why do we do that? You're absolutely right, Nikolai. Unfortunately, you're absolutely right. Because we simply like doing it. Okay, sometimes, okay, we may believe that we want to reach some good goals because we bully a person which is bad, okay, which is incorrect, etc. But okay, we have no right to do so, and again, we create this is a kind of very cruel behavior. And well, as everybody is present in social networks, and as it is possible to gather a band, so to say, of cyber bulls, well, it is also a kind of self-organization, guys, as you understand it. Okay, we can create a lot of problems for poor persons who are our victims. Ladies and gentlemen, do you understand it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so there are some more terms. I believe you have heard about them, but still, let's discuss them. Online shaming, doxing, and revenge porn. Do you understand what is it?
Yeah.
Alexander, could you please explain us a little bit?
Okay, online shaming in this case is about I don't know making some bad things for other person in online surface. And here there is an example of revenge porn. It's when you post some private photos of another person in the net, and that's how you like destroy his or her reputation.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Doxing, it is very similar. It is very similar. Okay. Doxing, it is about docs, documents. So you get access to private documents of a person and you post them on the internet. In order to create problems for this person. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess you have heard about this issue. I'm not sure if it occurred in Belarus right now during the protest after Mr. Lukashenko elections, but okay, I guess that this problem occurred in Kiev during the Euromaidan. What is it? Protesters managed to find IDs of the police, which was cracking down the protests. And okay, these documents were posted on the net, and obviously, it was a kind of light shaming. It was a source of threats for these persons. Okay, unfortunately, the police had to perform its duty, and well, it is a kind of online shaming on the basis of doxing, on the basis of publication of private documents of identities. Guys, is it clear, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Okay, and
So
revenge, yes.
in some cases, it could not only harm the person's reputation, but also um, danger his or her life.
Not only his or her life, but also the life of her family. Because okay, as you understand, protesters hate police. It's quite normal. And well, in this case, if you threat to harm, okay, to make some harm to the policeman children or to the policeman wife, okay, in this case, he or she may well decide to resign from the police in order to avoid problems, as you understand it. It is a really problem. It is a really problem. What is it? What else, guys? Sometimes you have probably heard about it. Debt collectors publish information about bad debtors on the internet in order to destroy their reputation and to make them pay their debts. Have you ever heard about it?
Yes.
Okay, it is also a problem. Okay, so, and probably the last point, which is very, very interesting one, vigilantism. Have you ever heard about it? Do you have any idea what it can mean?
No.
Yeah.
Alexander?
Vigilantism is a situation when some citizen use the violence, for example, to fight against some social problems. I don't know. They are not sanctioned by the state, but they still do it. I don't know. For example, like Tisak did in the internet previously, like fighting against pedophiles and making videos
Uh-huh,
in the
uh-huh,
internet
uh-huh.
about it.
Okay, absolutely right. But it is the extreme case of vigilantism, as you understand it. But well, normally, what is it? What is it? In the case of vigilantism, you gather information on the internet about persons you believe are unethical, criminal, etc. And you use internet tools or maybe real life tools in order to punish this person. Guys, do you understand it? So you act as a kind of social volunteer police. You try to find activities which are illegal, unethical, or criminal according to your personal views, and you try to stop these activities without legal permission and by any tools you can use. Is it clear, guys, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, it is. And so you don't have a permission. In fact, um, mm, the crime wasn't proved,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think it's a very mm, bad activity. So
Well, absolutely right. It's a very bad activity, but okay. In this case, you believe that you are good and you have the right to fight against such evil things. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the next slide. I will try to explain. Please look at this beautiful slide. Do you know this person? Do you
Well, I
know her?
know a few cases which are close to this one.
Sorry?
I know a few cases which are close to this one when school teachers were like forced to leave the school, like here.
Okay. This young lady actually is a winter swimmer. So what is a winter swimmer, guys? As you understand, she's a lady. She's a lady is a swimmer which is able to swim in the ice cold water. So it is a very popular Russian type of sport, okay, which is crazy in my opinion, but okay, still it is popular. Okay, as you understand, here we have a picture in the winter, or at least in the cold period of time. As you see, I guess there are even some traces of snow in the back part of the photo. So this young lady is a normal beach seaweed. So as you see, it is okay. It is a kind of seaweed for sunny weather. But okay, it is the photo is taken during the winter or during the winter, I guess. So uh, she is a very good winter swimmer. She is a champion, I guess. So she is a professional in this kind of sport. And okay, she published this photo in order to promote a sport competition. So it is just a kind of normal sport photo, I guess. So it is a normal type of look, I would say, for this type of sport. But well, unfortunately, this young lady was a school teacher, and parents decided that this photo was too explicit. Too explicit. Well, and they insisted that the school fires this this teacher. When okay, actually the school organized a campaign against this poor lady, and she was forced to leave the school for this photo. Guys, understand it?
Yes.
Okay, actually, very sad story because, okay, as I understand, there is no sexual content in this photo. It is not okay. It is not a sexual promotion. Just again, as I have already said, it is a winter sport photo. But still, our destined parents decided that this photo was too explicit. Okay, it is pretty sad story, and it is a kind of vigilantism. We see a problem, we don't discuss this problem with anybody. We require that this problem be solved. And sometimes, if we have enough energy, this problem may be solved. As okay, may be solved. Okay, as I understand this conditional term. Okay, this school teacher unfortunately was forced to leave the school, which is not justified, in my opinion. Guys, do you understand this situation?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you have any questions? I would like to make a break right now before we go to the next topic. So, if you have any questions about the first part of our lecture, please don't hesitate to ask.
So,
No questions. Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
sorry. I
Mhm.
found that word combinations in English. So it's like a lynch law or mob law. In Russian, it is samosud.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Vigilantism is a more popular term right now, but you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Okay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a break. We'll continue at 20 past 4, I guess. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you soon.
We can we can see you.
Great, but I don't see all of you. There are only 8 persons. So I guess we should wait a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, now let's go to the problem of a higher level of control. Obviously, the first sources of control in our life is the state, at least traditionally. So, thanks to the new digital technologies, the state can implement a higher level of control, obviously, thanks to cameras, thanks to the control over messaging, etc. Why it is good? Well, obviously, prevention of crimes. In this case, thanks to control over behavior, so to say, we can prevent crimes, not to react to them, which is obviously good as it increases the security of our society, the security of our life. Obviously, it is ensuring state security. The difference between the crimes and state security is obvious. In case of crimes, we discuss offenses to legal entities to persons. In case of state security, okay, there is the problem of harm to the state itself. It's about terrorist attacks, etc. So, indeed, now it is important to use state control to prevent crimes and to prevent infringements of state security. Ladies and gentlemen, we discussed during our previous lecture the problem of cybersecurity. As you understand, terrorists, state and non-state institutions are actively using digital tools for crimes. Obviously, the state also should use digital tools to prevent crimes, to fight crimes. But there are many risks associated with this state control. The first of them is the violation of privacy. Okay, in case of traditional state control, it was not ubiquitous. Now, as the state can get access to all of our data, because all our data are explicitly or implicitly public, Well, this information may be used for purposes we don't intend it to be used. We don't intend it to be used. Well, it is intervention at our personal life. It is okay. It is the problem that okay, our privacy will not exist anymore, to put it frankly. Enforcement of good behavior, ladies and gentlemen. What is the
Sorry.
problem? Yes.
And in that case, uh, uh, we should fully trust our state, because if we don't trust our state and it has um, all amount of information about us, so it's a very I know, horrible situation.
Yes, that's right. In this case, we should believe our state. We should have trust in it, and in many cases, it is not so. The motto of proponents of this state control is that if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. So, if you're a honest person, who lives in full honesty, in full transparency, okay, in this case, these state control systems will not disclose any information about you. But the problem with, and according to this approach, if you hide anything, okay, in this case, you are not legal. You are not a good person, so to say. And okay, you are suspicious, and you should be controlled. But the problem with that, actually, and here we go to the second risk, that we see here the enforcement of good behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the point? The state should prevent crimes. Obviously, it's normal. It's one of the key functions of the state. But what is the enforcement of good behavior? The state, on the basis of the constant control, makes us behave ourselves as the state believes is good. And we have to use this model of behavior in order to be in order not to be punished. But in this case, we do not only commit any crimes. There are strict limitations imposed on our normal behavior, because sometimes we hide something which is not illegal, but which we would not like to disclose. I will give you an example. I will give you an example. Okay. Let's imagine. Okay, quite common situation, not probably a very good one, but still quite common. Okay, let's imagine you are married. You are a guy, you are a man, and you are married. Okay, you live with your wife, you have children, okay, you have a family life, but you have a sexual partner outside your family. Is it criminal? Well, I wouldn't say so. Is it good? Obviously not. It is bad. It is bad to make such betrayals, but still it is not illegal. Nobody knows for which reason you found this sexual partner. But if this information is disclosed, it may destroy not only your reputation but also your family. Well, you hide this information because it is your private information, but it is not illegal information. Ladies and gentlemen, do you understand it, guys?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, and in this case, your good behavior is not honest, so to say. You behave in a good guy not because you are a good guy, but because you are forced to behave like such a guy. Okay, it is a moral violence actually, and you will not be happy in this situation. You will be good, you will be a comfortable person for the society, but you will not be happy. So it is a really problem. And the mind control, guys. The problem with that now, technologies enable the state to identify your emotions, your feelings. And okay, on the basis of cameras, on the basis of face recognition, etc., the state may understand if you are happy, if you are in trouble, if you are attentive during lectures or during the speeches of the state president, etc. And okay, in this case, you have to be not only a good person, but a happy person. You'll have always to demonstrate attention, empathy. I don't know what else, happiness, obviously, joy, but there will be this will not be your emotions. This is the imposed feelings you have to demonstrate. Guys, do you understand it, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes. Uh, uh, so,
Yes.
in that case, mm, it's not about laws. It's about being okay for the government.
Okay, absolutely right. It is not about laws. Exactly. It is what I was saying. It is not about crimes. It is not about legal prescriptions. It is about informal rules which are imposed on you. Okay, you may not be punished if you betray your wife, obviously. Okay, okay, in some Muslim countries it is a case, but not in China, for example. But well, if this information is disclosed, your reputation will suffer, which is not a desired outcome for you. So it is, how should I say, it is an intention to introduce punishments for acts which are not legally punishable. Do you understand, guys?
Yes, and maybe let me guess. The next step will be something like punish for crimes which were planned committed, maybe planned, but were not committed actually.
Okay, very good idea, Nikolai. You should try to publish it. Very good, very good. So a person should be punished for his or her intention, not for the real acts. Very good. I really like it. So probably it is absolutely right. Actually, it is a kind of mind control. You should always demonstrate loyalty, no criminal intentions, no bad things, no bad feelings, etc. Do you understand, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So probably the most known system of such state control is the system of social credit introduced in China. I guess you have heard about it. It is really a buzzword in the contemporary literature. But we will discuss it in more detail in order to understand the basics of the system because it is more complex than it is usually presented in the literature. Okay, the key for goals of the system of social credits sorry, are honesty in state affairs. To put it simply, you should be loyal to the party, etc. As you understand, China is ruled by the Communist Party, and okay, party plays an important role in the political life of this great country. Business integrity, obviously. You should be a reliable business partner. Social integrity. Your social behavior should be good. It should be worth approval, I would say. So you should behave according to the social expectations. And legal reliability. So your ability to comply with the law, to carry out all judicial judgments, etc. So state affairs, business integrity, social integrity, and legal reliability. All this, okay, these four directions basically cover all aspects of human life, of civil life, I would say, and control over them could ensure a high level of stability, at least theoretically. Now, let's go further. Ladies and gentlemen, while we say that there is a system of social credit in China, actually there are many systems of social credit. I would say that there is a system of systems of social credit. There are independent systems of social credits, sorry guys, of social credit, which are run by the judicial system. It is about paying. It is about compliance to the legal decisions. Municipal social credit systems. It is about your social behavior within your municipality. Financial credit system, very simple, about your bad debts. And commercial credit systems, your customer behavior actually. Commercial credit systems are operated by leading digital companies in China, like AliExpress, like Tencent, etc. So all these systems are independent. So they have their own logic, they have their own model of operation, and they are not interconnected. So actually, a Chinese citizen should comply with many systems of social credit. Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention to the fact that there are many municipal social credit systems. So a system which is used in Beijing will not be similar to the system which is used, I don't know, in Shenzhen, etc. So there are a lot of different municipal social credit systems, and citizens in different areas of China should comply to slightly different rules. So there is a lot of rules which you should comply to, and these systems of social credit, as I have already said, form a meta system of a super system, I would say, of social credit in China. Is it clear, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay. So how to operate? Ladies and gentlemen, we see here a beautiful picture. A beautiful picture. Uh, in the upper part of this picture, we have main sources of information about citizens' behavior. There is a traditional input, so the traditional source of information. Income tax payments, loan repayment, utility bills, a lot of other payments, which are normally controlled by credit story companies. So it is a normal source of information which was used not only in China but in other countries. For example, here in Russia, we use the credit story system for credits only. But in Europe, this system is used for income tax payment, again for credit card bills, utility bills, etc. So your credit story contains all your payment history, all the information about your payments, actually, your trustfulness as a payer of different payments. So in this case, China is no exception. As I already said, this model is very popular in Europe too. Okay, social input. Ladies and gentlemen, traffic rules, family planning limits. Very important thing in China, as you know. Payment for public transport. If you commit a fraud in a public transport, okay, it will be considered not a crime, but okay, as an offense against the system of social credit, against the social order, actually. Academic honesty, guys. A very important thing. If you cheat during exams, it will reduce your social credit rating. Volunteer activity. Filial piety, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, China is a kind of traditional society, and family relations are very important in this country. So you should behave as a good child, as a good son. You should respect your elderly parents, and your family behavior is also a kind of control. And well, online input, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, interactions with other internet users, as you see in yellow. I guess it is a kind of yellow. There may be different types of interactions: messaging, online video games, web chats, etc. Reliability of information posted or reposted online. If you publish fake news, incorrect news, if you publish incorrect or fake information, okay, obviously it will reduce your social rating. And shopping habits. Well, if you purchase suspicious goods, I would say, for example, which can be used to produce a weapon, okay, in this case, you will be considered a suspicious person. And here we see how it operates. Okay, all this information is processed. All this information is processed, and okay, the system provides you with sanctions or bonuses. In case you are a reliable person, you may get some insurance premiums. So a decrease for insurance payments. If you are a conflict guy, a conflict loving guy, okay, in this case you will be limited in your access to luxury hotels. Okay. Mm, if you are not a reliable person from the financial point of view, let's look at the right part of the slide of the picture. Sorry. Okay, in this case, your loan rates will go up, and the credit amounts will go down, and so on and so on and so on. So, ladies and gentlemen, in case you are not a good person, so to say, in this case you will be punished, not officially punished, but your potential of consumption, but your potential of self-actualization will be seriously limited. Guys, do you understand it? Guys.
Yes, but the problem is that uh, government could analyze, I know, your status, your actions are incorrect, and I I don't know, and of course we can't talk about freedom of thinking, of talking in that case, because government don't like it.
Obviously, if you post anything about the freedom for Tibet or freedom for Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, or if you publish pro-Taiwan posts on the internet, okay, in this case, obviously, you will be punished. If you support protests in Hong Kong, you will be punished too. So it seriously limits your freedom of speech. Quite normal. But ladies and gentlemen, do you ever heard about the Great Chinese Firewall?
Yes.
Could you please tell us what is it?
This is a firewall which prevents Chinese citizens to access Western websites.
Well, you're absolutely right. What is the difference between internet access in Russia and in China? As you know, probably in Russia, access to some sites, foreign sites or Russian sites is limited, is restricted. So you cannot access some foreign sites from Russia. But what is the model of restriction? Normally, here from Russia, we can access any site we wish. Access to foreign sites is free, websites, I mean. But some selected sites which are illegal, which are criminal, which damage property rights, etc. The access to these sites is limited, is restricted. So these websites are picked up from the general set of all websites, and okay, the access to them is especially limited. In case of China, the situation is absolutely different. You cannot you cannot freely access internet outside China. You cannot get access to to websites outside China. This access is how should I say, is blocked by this great firewall. And the Chinese security service especially selects foreign sites which can be accessed. So the model is completely inverse. In Russia, we select sites which cannot be accessed. In China, they block access to all sites and carefully select those which can still be accessed. Guys, do you understand it? Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
So it is how this model operates. It ensures a higher level of political security, probably, but it also stimulates the use of different VPNs, anonymizers, etc. Because, okay, obviously people want to have access to free information. And what else? This system leaves place, you're absolutely right, to technical and human mistakes because your behavior cannot be analyzed incorrectly and it may create bad consequences for you or maybe incorrect good consequences for you. Indeed, there is a model of correction of such mistakes, but such mistakes obviously do occur. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes. So, um, in my opinion, in that case, people are not, I don't know, persons. They are like some some soldiers without mind, something like that. Some social units, but not persons, because they are controlled in everything and they are rating in everything. So they behave to be good for government.
Okay, you exaggerate a little bit, but technically you see the right direction, I would say. So, citizens could behave in a good way. But as you probably know, the collectivist spirit is normal for China. So this model of behavior is normal. Okay, it is probably not absolutely normal, but is acceptable. In Russia, it would create huge protests, obviously. But still, ladies and gentlemen, it depends on the situation. Uh, if there is how should I say a threat for the society, like pandemics, obviously, ladies and gentlemen, the society is ready to accept a higher level of state control in order to save lives. Okay, so in some cases, the society is ready to accept such a level of control. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so let's continue. I list here some sanctions which can be used for infringements of the system of social credit. It is banned to work in public institutions, quite normal. If you are not a socially reliable person, you should not work in the public sphere. Refusal on social security, a very cruel act, actually, ladies and gentlemen. A very cruel act. Actually, it makes me think about the Stalin era. After the October Revolution, the former ruling class of the Imperial Russia, noble families, bourgeoisie, etc., they were deprived of all civil rights, and obviously they had no access to social security. So this model of punishment is very, very popular, unfortunately. And okay, sometimes it may create huge problems for victims of such measures. Travel ban. Okay. If you behave yourself incorrectly in airplanes, high-speed trains, etc., okay, your social rating will be decreased, and you will not be able to buy tickets for airplanes or trains. Exclusion from school admissions. It was a very, very interesting story. Um, a young person from China, okay, a young Chinese guy, uh, wanted to enter a prestigious Chinese university. He passed all examinations, he passed all selection procedures. He was very successful. He was, if I'm not mistaken, one of the best. But he was refused admissions. How he was refused admission to this university? How do you think why?
because
Because of
he
restrictions. He made
Because of
something
what?
wrong. Because of restrictions, maybe he made something wrong, and the government imposed some restriction on this guy in order to punish.
This situation is even more interesting, ladies and gentlemen. His
Yes.
father didn't pay a debt.
Oh.
Yes, his father didn't pay a debt. And okay, it was a punishment for the family, so to say. The social rating of the father was decreased, and it has an impact on the school admission, on the university admission of his son. Do you understand it?
yes. Now it really looks like Stalin's era of Soviet Union.
Okay, in the Stalin era, the situation was different actually. Okay, the situation was a little bit different because Stalin has different goals. But this control, this control, on this mutual control of the whole family, of the whole social groups, it creates social risks, I would say. Well, what else, ladies and gentlemen? If you don't pay debts, you will be refused stay in good hotels, or you will be refused the right to buy expensive goods. It's quite normal. If you are not able to pay your debts, where do you find money to pay for luxury products? Ladies and gentlemen, do you understand it?
Yes, but doesn't it uh, shouldn't it be up to person? Maybe I know he or she didn't have money to pay a debt, but now he or she uh, has to treat his or her child, and in that
Okay,
case,
in case of medical expenses, it is allowed. But if you want to buy a car, okay, in this case, you will not be have the right to do so. Do you
okay,
understand it?
yes,
Okay. Okay, you may be subject to a more strict customs control. And okay, a ban may be imposed to you to occupy top level positions in some industries, okay, mainly in food industry and in pharmaceuticals. So these industries, as you understand, have to deal with the social security actually, with the human security, I would say. And if you are not a reliable person, you should not occupy top positions in such branches of economy. Guys, do you understand?
yes,
Guys, do you follow me? Okay, great. So let's continue. Here we have some examples of sanctions. Beijing. Okay, I do not list sanctions because your sanctions are normally a decrease of your social rating. But in case of Beijing, if you incorrect, in case your behavior is inappropriate when you use city's rapid transit transport, okay, your social rating will be decreased. Examples of such inappropriate behavior is eating in metro, for example, and playing loud music. Ladies and gentlemen, what I should highlight. You may eat if you may feed your child, you may feed your children, obviously, because okay, sometimes they won't eat even in metro. You may eat if you are a sick person, because in this case you may have a special regime of eating. But in case you are a normal, healthy person, in this case, it is not allowed for you to eat in metro. Guys, do you understand it?
yes,
Okay, playing loud music. Playing loud music. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be honest. I absolutely agree with this measure. With this measure, actually, probably, probably you have paid attention to this fact. Uh, people virtually stopped using headphones some years ago. So it is normal now to watch movies without headphones. to listen to music without headphones, etc. So when you travel, you have to listen to different movies, or even worse, you have to do it when you are in a restaurant or in a canteen, etc. So it is a kind of incorrect behavior, and if people is unable to restrict themselves, some social punishments should be imposed. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes. And
But mhm,
sorry.
yes.
Uh, and as I know, in Russia we have something likely. For example, in fact, you can call the police if your neighbors are listening loud music after 11 p.m. So
Okay, it is okay. First of all, there is no guarantee that the police will arrive. I don't know if we have contacts with our police, but they are not very workaholic, I would say. In case of your neighbors, in this case, there are some, how should I say, some legal limits for sounds, etc. But I mean that in case of metro, there is virtually impossible to call for the police. Do you understand it?
y-
Okay, a guy which is sitting close to you is watching a movie and plays a very loud music. Okay, it is disturbing for you, but it is no use to call for the police because when the police arrives, this guy will leave the train.
yes, I
So
understand.
a system of social control should be imposed. By the way, guys, if we discuss the situation, what do you think about such a behavior? Listen to loud music or to loud movies without headphones in public locations?
Well, this is totally inappropriate and unethical because you do not care about other people's emotions and their comfort.
It is a very specific problem, actually, ladies and gentlemen. You create your own privacy in expense of other person's privacy, if you understand it. So you create a comfortable environment for you, but you don't care about other persons. And obviously, this behavior should be stopped. Actually, I do not understand why people doesn't use headphones. It is a surprise for me, but okay, people doesn't. It
So
is more comfortable for them to listen to music even in metro with a huge level of bad sound without headphones.
I
Well, yes,
can I say something? Add
yes.
something. I think this is the same thing with smoking because people smoke outside and they don't care about the others' feelings, others'
Hmm.
health, and I think it must be restricted by government because
Hmm.
in some certain level uh, they embark in the others' privacy. They try to um, uh, how to say uh, they try to disturb them from their column and the fresh air.
Hmm.
So I think it's the same issue.
Okay, it is a really problem. It is a real problem. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as you understand, there is a problem of mutual respect. If you like movies, if you like music, okay, you should have the right to listen to it, to watch it. It's normal. If you're a smoker, okay, you should have a possibility to smoke. But okay, your habits, your needs should not be uncomfortable for others. That's all. And okay, this system of social credit should be used when people are not able to establish this system of mutual respect, informal mutual respect, I mean. So unfortunately, this social credit is used to, okay, to compensate for this inability of social self-organization, I would say, a self-censorship, if you understand what I mean. Well, in case of Hangzhou, individuals and organizations who don't comply with the West sorting rules. Okay, very important problem from the ecological point of view. Ladies and gentlemen, you as students maybe will like the point 3 in Guangzhou, people who cheat in national, provincial, municipal examinations. So if you are a cheater, in this case, your social rating will be decreased. And okay, probably the most funny point in Suzhou, cheating in online games. So if you cheat in online games, okay, you are not a socially reliable person, your social credit will be reduced. And booking hotels without showing up. Quite a normal model. You book hotel without paying in advance. This system is popular all over the world. You book a hotel, but you don't show up. The hotel loses money, and you have no responsibility. Okay, in this case, you don't pay any fines, but your social credit is also reduced. Guys, is it clear? Guys?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so actually, it is really a problem. It is a really problem because, as you see, the intentions are indeed good. So, but sometimes, okay, the restrictions may be too strict, if you understand what I mean. Well, for example, you do not comply with the West sorting rules. Well, why this issue may occur? You simply forgot. You are okay. You are busy. You are tired, and you forgot to sort your West. Is it is it a crime? No, it is just a normal mistake. But okay, you will be punished for it, which, in my opinion, is excessive. Well, ladies and gentlemen, surveillance. I guess you have heard this word. It is a kind of control. Okay, now, unfortunately, we have to live in the system of different models of control. There is state control. We have already discussed it. There is corporate control. We discussed it during the first lectures. Companies control our purchasing behavior in order to manipulate us, in order to make us to buy more. And obviously, we are controlled as employees because companies want to how should I say to make us as productive as possible. So they control our working behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a very interesting case which occurred, I guess, 15 years ago in Germany. Two colleagues in a German company had sex in a photocopying room. Do you understand what is a photocopying room?
Not really.
Okay,
Can you?
it is a place within a company where a photocopier is installed, and you use this photocopier to copy documents for your job. Okay, you copy
Yeah.
documents. Okay,
Okay.
that's all. Okay, a photocopying room. Okay, so these two persons, I guess they were a man and a woman, but I'm not sure. They had sex. Okay, very good, and they were fired from this company. How do you think? Why?
Because they were not working and they were using the workroom for their private goals and not very, I know,
You're absolutely
goals.
right. Actually, as you probably know, companies implement different systems of work time control. It is normally a plastic card which you put to the terminal, which is used to mark the start of your job, and when you leave the job after the end of the working day, okay, you also put it to the terminal, and this company has the full information about your working hours. Guys, do you understand it, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so They were fired not for having had sex. They were fired for the fact they did not stop their working hours by using the system of electronic control. So they should have declared a break in their work, and after that, okay, they could have a break, they could have had sex, and after that, they could resume the work. Unfortunately, they had sex during working hours. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes.
It was not the problem of indecent behavior. It was the problem of unproductive behavior, if you understand it. Their behavior was considered as cheating. They used working hours for private purposes. Well, social control. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a kind of mob control, which we discussed a little bit earlier. Nikolai reminded me about this term, vigilantism, if you remember it. So in this case, the society controls you, not the state, not the corporations, but the society. Your neighbors, okay, vigilance, okay, partners, colleagues, etc. So in this case, you have a kind of social control. Let's go back to this poor teacher, a winter swimmer. Probably you remember her. Okay, it was she was a victim of the social control. She was controlled by parents of her students. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen? Right?
Yes. Uh,
Yes,
but in the most cases, I, I think it should be so, yeah? Social control can't be, I know, can't use law to control people. It could
Obviously, obviously.
use only, oh, sorry,
It's absolutely illegal. It's absolutely illegal. It's based on cyberbullying. It's based on online shaming, on other tools of informal control. Absolutely right. Okay?
yeah, yeah. It should use blaming, but not law.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Well, Asylbek, you had a question, I guess. Asylbek?
no, I don't have.
Okay, and combined control, obviously. For example, when a company performs state control functions, it is the case of China, as I already mentioned. Biggest digital companies in China, biggest digital companies in China run their own systems of social credit, and this system is used not only for their corporate control but also for the state control. Guys, do you understand it? Guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's go to the ethical issues. Mm, okay, ladies and gentlemen, the first problem which can be discussed is the new level of control ethical? Is this total control of human personality, of human privacy ethical? The second question is how should be new technology seen from the ethical point of view? And obviously the list is not exhaustive. How do new technologies change human ethics? I will explain a little bit. I will elaborate on this third point. Ladies and gentlemen, there is Alexa, a Google helper, if I'm not mistaken. Do you understand it? Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It is a okay kind of voice assistant. Okay, human-like voice assistant software, bot actually. And well, it is a human-like. Okay, at least from the voice point of view. Now, as you probably know, children often use Alexa. Okay, Alexa abroad and Alisa here in Russia. Alisa proposed and developed by Yandex. Okay, they often use this model of search for information. What does it mean? Children get used to issue orders to such voice assistants. And this model of behavior becomes normal for them. So they become adapted to issue an order to persons they speak too. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes.
It was remarked by a school psychologist in the United States. Children which use Alexa also get used to issue orders to their classmates, which is obviously very harmful for social relations. So the model of human robot interaction is transferred into human-human interaction, which is obviously not good. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, do you recognize this beautiful lady?
This is the robot, yes.
Yes, obviously. Her name is Sophia. Okay, it is a humanoid robot. I will say she was granted Saudi Arabia citizenship in 2017. So it is the first example of a robot which was granted national citizenship. It is a kind of publicity, obviously. It is a kind of social act. It is not a legal act. But still, there is an example of such citizenship. And here, guys, we come to the problem of rights of robots. As I have already said in the beginning of our lecture, now robots are very developed, very advanced, very sophisticated, and they cannot be considered as simple slaves, so to say. They are intellectual, at least at sight. And there are violent discussions about the following topics. Should robots be granted any rights? So, should robots possess any rights? And what is the amount of these rights, if any, obviously? Ladies and gentlemen, for example, let's imagine there is a sophisticated robot which is able to perform very complicated functions. Should this robot have the right to block any attempts to shut it down? Should this robot have the right to block the attempts to install new software or to delete older ones? So it is really a problem. Should the robot have the right to possess some aspects of its personality? Guys, do you understand it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And in addition to rights, there is obviously responsibility. Because should there be any responsibility for robots? Basically, who should be responsible for robots' actions? Let's go back to the example we discussed in the beginning of our lecture. A pilotless car kills a child. Who should be responsible for this action? The owner who programmed the car itself, or the producer? And well, it is also a problem. And the next problem, which is probably a philosophical one, but still very important, would granted rights to robots destroy the idea of human rights? Or at least deeply transform it? Because in our society, we believe that humans are only ones to have human rights, which is quite normal. But if we give some rights to robots, how it will change our understanding of human rights? Or maybe it will destroy completely the idea of human rights, and we will go to the idea, I don't know, of intellectual rights, of rights of intelligent entities, etc. So it is also a problem. And now we go to a very interesting attempt which occurred in 2017. As you see, it was the year when Sophia was granted the Saudi Arabian citizenship. European Parliament tried to adopt legislation introducing the idea of electronic personality. So it was an attempt to make robots partially, how do you say, partially personalized, having partial personality, so to say. According to this legislation, robots may be responsible for damage they caused. Well, lawyers, computer scientists, social activists, and a lot of other persons protested against this attempt because, according to them, it would be absolutely stupid. Because a robot cannot be deemed responsible for damage. Robots have no assets to compensate. Robots cannot be punished, etc. But still, there was an attempt to introduce such responsibility. And well, the next act is probably logical. Companies owning robots should insure them against damages to third parties. So, if you own a pilotless car, you should insure them against damages, just like you insure a normal car. So it is an attempt to include robots as a part of our society with the existing legal framework. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes.
Right? Okay. And here we arrive at the last point, to the last point of our lecture. Ladies and gentlemen, probably the most complicated issue, the issue of lethal autonomous weapons, killer robots, robots weapons. Should they be prohibited or should they be allowed to exist? In this case, what is it? It is, I don't know, a drone which is able to take decisions when to deploy and when to strike, whom to kill, actually. So this robot may take decisions about human lives. It is necessary for military, as you understand it, because these robots would greatly increase the efficiency of warfare, but it creates huge risks from the ethical point of view. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes.
I think the similar case was mentioned in the Black Mirror TV series
Absolutely
in one
right.
of the episodes.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. It was a very popular series and which discussed a lot of risks, a lot of fears. You're absolutely right, which are associated with this digital transformation of society. Thank you very much for mentioning it. Ladies and gentlemen, do you have any questions about this topic?
No.
Okay, guys. In this case, I thank you very much for your participation, and see you when? See you next Wednesday, right? Thank you
Okay.
much, guys.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice,
Thank you.
have a nice weekend.
Thank you
See
very
you.
much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.